Dum, bum, 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 bum. Here we go. All right. Numbers. 1 and 2 were mainly about the armies. Hi, welcome everybody to Home Church, and this is Daniel Taylor Sr. live via YouTube. And Family Home Church, which once was called Taylor Family Home Church, is now just called Family Home Church because that's what it is. It's about all families. And we read the whole scripture because of 2 Timothy 3:16 through 7 tells us that all the scriptures are inspired by God for correction, reproof, doctrine, for instruction in righteousness, that the whole man of God can be fully equipped to do all his good works. And that's the only way we can do it, my friends. Way. So here we are, and today we're in Numbers chapter 3, and we're going to get about to chapter 4 today. And 3 is kind of long. 4 is kind of long too. My goodness. It's amazing how long Numbers really is, considering it's just about counting. It's the whole census on. So it's kind of strange how long it is, and that's why I said sometimes it could be like you're like this. But there's a reason we should hear everything. God said for us to hear everything, because He inspired 1 Timothy 3:16 and 17. Now these are the words, or these words I should say, of Aaron and Moses when the Lord spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai. And these are the names of the sons of Aaron: Nadab, the firstborn, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. These are the names of the sons of Aaron, anointed priests, whom he consecrated to minister. Also had a guy named so Moses, Aaron actually named both of their firstborn sons Nadab and Abihu. Aaron, Moses, and these are the names of oh no, those are the sons of Aaron. I'm sorry. It's actually the sons of Aaron. Nadab and Abihu had died before the Lord when they offered profane fire before the Lord in the wilderness of Sinai. We read that during Leviticus. And they had no children. So Eleazar and Ithamar ministered as priests in the presence of Aaron, their father. And the Lord spoke to Moses, bring the tribe of Levi near and present them before Aaron and the priest, the priest, that they may serve him. And they shall attend to his needs and the needs of the congregation before the tabernacle of meeting, to do the work of the tabernacle. Also, they shall attend to all the furnishings and tabernacle of meeting, and to the needs of the children of Israel to do the work of the tabernacle. And he shall give the Levites to Aaron and his sons. They are given internally to him from among the children of Israel. So you shall appoint Aaron and his sons, and they shall attend to the hood. But the outsiders who come near shall be put to death. So no one was able to enter the temple except for those who God appointed, which was through the Levites. And now we're able to enter into the temple. We are the temple. Jesus dwells in us. He comes into you when you ask him into your heart. You go and sin no more, and he stays with you. He continuously dwells with you. Now here's the thing. This is what they had to do. And that's why it's partly important for us to know what they had to do so that we don't do that anymore. So we don't have to do that anymore, that we go and sin no more. You need to stop. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Now behold, I myself have taken the Levites from among the children of Israel, instead of every firstborn who opens the womb among the children of Israel. Therefore the Levites shall be mine, because all the firstborn are mine. On the day that I struck all the firstborn of Egypt, I sanctified to myself all the firstborn of Israel, both man and beast. They shall be mine. I am the Lord. Then the Lord spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, saying, Number the children of Levi by their fathers' houses, by their families. You shall number every male from a month old and above. Now, remember, he did, for the other families, he did 20 years old and above who could go out to war. Every man that can go out to war. There was over 600 some thousand men throughout all the other tribes of Israel. But Levites weren't numbered for that. They are the priests. They are the ministers. So Moses, and today we don't be part of a tribe. We don't have to be a specific part of a group of people to be ministers. To minister can come from anywhere. It can come from a drug dealer who used to be in a prison and want to kill the minister that came into the prison to preach to them and became a minister himself, now served for well over years. It can come from a drug addict who never once wanted to go into church, preaching church, and becomes a minister. It could be from a person who was working the rails as an engineer and a train engineer. It can come from somebody who was a lawyer. It can come from someone who was a doctor. It can come from a pastor, their father was the pastor, or their father's father was a pastor. So it doesn't matter where a minister comes from today. But then Moses had the Levites become God had Moses tell the Levites to become ministers. So Moses numbered according to the word of the Lord as he commanded. These were the sons of Levi by their names: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. And these were the names of the sons of Goshen by their families: Libni and Izhar, Hebron, and Azul. And these are the sons of Merari by their families: Mehala and Mushi. These are the families of the Levites by their families' houses. From Gershon and the family of the Libnites and the family of the Shemites, these were the families of the Gershonites, those who were numbered according to the number of the males from 1 month old. Of all those who were numbered were 7,500. The families of the Gershonites were camped behind the tabernacle westward. And the leader of the father's house of the Gershonites was Elisaph, the sons of Lael. The duties of the children of Gershon in the tabernacle meeting included the tabernacle, the tent and its coverings, the screen of the door, and the tabernacle meeting, the screen of the door of the court, the hangings of the court, which are around the tabernacle and the altar, and their cords according to the work related to them. In other words, they had to take those parts down. That's what they were in charge of, the Knights. From Kohath came the family of the Amramites, the family of Izahats, the family of the Hebronites, and the family of the Uzanites. These are the families of the Kohanites. According to the number of the males, 1 month and above were 8,600, keeping charge of the sanctuary. The family of the children of Kohath were to camp on the south side of the tabernacle, and the leader of the father's house of the family of the Kohanites was Eliphan, the son of Uzal. Their duty included the ark, the table, the lamps, the altars, the utensils, and the sanctuary with which they ministered, the screen, and all the work related to them. So they took that stuff down or took it apart every time they had to travel. Remember I mentioned before that they moved around, circled the wilderness for 40 whole years before they were allowed to enter into the promised land. So I kind of displayed it as being like a mass unit back in the late part of World War II. I think mass units actually became part of Korea. I don't know if they were part of World War II then, but possibly during the Korean Vietnam War, there were mass units, and a mass unit was a set-up hospital. And when they had to get down fast and leave. Well, this is what they each had their own, in the mass unit, each person had their own part of what they had to do to take down the tents, take down the equipment, to take everything down. Each person had a certain part so they could go down quickly and move down the road or up the road or wherever they had to go. This, in essence, was how they had to do it. That's why they were given, the Gershonites were given the tent and the screens and the cover of the doors, and including the tabernacle and all that part. And the Amorites, or the Kohath, all these of Kohath and Uzzites, all them had to do the ark and the lampstand and the altars and utensils. And the reason was for this is so they could just put it quickly and bring it back up quickly. And a lot of people don't understand that. Why did they have to do all these different? Well, because think of like you had to come down quick. You had people that guarded around the unit, not like MASH 4077 where there was comedy. There was probably some doctors were probably goofy because doctors were given and told to take care of people. Most doctors were what they call drafted. So there was some comedy in units, but the essential part of it, they had to build up and take down within hours, sometimes less than like some people think it took days for them to take it down and move. For them, it had to be hours sometimes. So each person knew what they had to do. They were trained to do it, and that's what they were learning and training during the period. And then after years, they probably got so good that every time Moses said time to move, they got it and left. From Merari came the family of the Mahalites and the family of the Mushites. These were the families of Merari. Let's say Merari. And those who were numbered according to the number of the males, month and above, 6,200. Excuse me. The leader of the father's house of the Merari was, Zero, son of Adahel. These were the camp on the north side of the tabernacle, and appointed duty of the children of Merari, including the tabernacle, its bars, its pillars, its utensils, and all work related to them, and the pillars of the court all around with their pegs and their cords. So first you got the people that take the top part down and the sides, and you got the people taking all the utensils and stuff in the Ark of the Covenant out, and then you got all the people taking the bottom stuff out. And so the bottom stuff people would have to go first. After they got everything down, they'd have to go first. So once they got to their spot, they had to build that part. Then the next people will build their part. And once the tabernacle is up, it's no longer you can't go in it unless you're one of the priests. So they made all these people to be like priestly in a way because they're the only ones that could touch it. From Merari came the family of the, did I already say that? Including the boards, yeah. Moreover, those who were in camp before the tabernacle meeting were Moses, Aaron, the sons, keeping charge of the sanctuary to meet the needs of the children of Israel. But outsiders who came near was put to death. And all who numbered of the Levites from Moses and Aaron numbered at the command of the Lord by the families of male 1 month and above were 22,000. So 22,000 males. That's not counting females. That's counting all the males from a month old and above. Then the Lord said to Moses, number all the firstborn males of the children of Israel from a month old and above. The number of you shall take the Levites, for I am the Lord. You shall take the names of the Levites for me. I am the Lord. Instead of all the firstborn among the children of Israel and the livestock of the Levites, instead of all the firstborn among the livestock of the children. So Moses numbered all the firstborn among the children of Israel as the Lord commanded him, and all the firstborn males according to the number of the names from a month old and above, and those numbered were 22,273. So these are the males from all the firstborn males from a month old. So firstborn people in the whole assembly were how much? 22,273. That's a lot of firstborn males. And I'm sure there were firstborn females that they didn't even count because they didn't count the females in that aspect. And it's a whole. So firstborn, you could have 1, 2, 3, 4 females born first, and then the firstborn male be the fifth child, or maybe 8 girls first, and then the ninth child is a boy. Well, there you have it. He's the first male counted. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, take the Levites instead of all the firstborn among the children of Israel, and the livestock, and the Levites instead of their livestock. The Levites shall be mine. I am the Lord. He just said that, didn't he? Yeah, sort of. And for the redemption of the 273 of the firstborn of the children of Israel, who are numbered who are more than the number of Levites, you shall take 5 shekels for each one individually. You shall take them in the currency of a shekel of the sanctuary, the shekel of 20 gerahs, and you shall give the money with which excess number of them is redeemed to Aaron and his sons. So Moses took the redemption money for those who were over and above those who were redeemed by the Levites. From the firstborn of the children of Israel, he took the money, 1,365 shekels, according to the shekels of the sanctuary. And Moses gave their redemption money to Aaron and his sons, according to the word of the Lord, as the Lord commanded. Now, what is a shekel? Well, let's see. 1,000 shekels to United States dollars, if it was today. For 1,000 shekels, you get $305. According to what I'm reading here. 100,000 shekels, $30,363.66. So 1,300 shekels would be worth 305. So 305. So I guess maybe about $400. But it's not giving me an exact number. And that was redemption money. Now, I always tell you guys, there's some things I know, and sometimes I learn something later on because I have to look it up, or sometimes I just don't know it. I don't really know what the redemption money was about. That's one thing I never caught yet. But like I said, I might read this 500 times and I'll finally catch it. I might read it 50 times and I might catch it. I'm not sure how many times I've read it yet. It's well over 10 or so times. But the thing is, we don't have a lot of teaching on this in the church today. And I'm going to be learning more. And next year, January, we're going to be starting over. And next year in January, I think we're going to more knowledge and teach you some of these things. I'm hoping. Can't promise that. But here we are in chapter 4 now. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, take a census of the sons of Kohath from among the children of the Levi, their family, their father's house, for 30 years old and above, even 50 years old. Excuse me. All who entered the service to do the work of the tabernacle meeting. This is the service of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle meeting related to the most holy things. When the camp prepares to journey, Aaron and his sons shall come and take down the covering veil and cover the ark of the testimony with it. So Aaron and his sons, and of course, as years pass on, it becomes other people who have to do this. But during their 40 years, this is pretty much who does it. And they take the veil. Remember when Jesus died on the cross? What happened to the veil? It was torn in half because God tore it in half. So because the Holy of Holies is now able to be entered because of the blood of Jesus Christ. They had to take it down so no one can see it, except Aaron, and I think, of course, Moses. and cover it with that so no one can see it. Okay, so once that was done, then the people can go in and start tearing down the tabernacle. I'm not tearing it down as in destroying it, but taking it down. This is the service called sons of Kohath and the tabernacle made related to the holy things. When the camp prepares to journey, Aaron and his sons come and take down the veil and cover the ark of the testimony with it. Then they shall put its covering, its on it a covering of skins, and spread over that cloth entirely of blue, and they shall insert its poles. So they take it down, cover it up with the veil, and then they cover it with the skins and cover it with some blue covering, and then put the poles in. The poles we read about was in Exodus, how they made it. These are gold covered poles. On the table of showbread, they shall spread a blue cloth and put out its dishes, the pans, the bowls, and the pitchers of the pouring of the showbread shall be on it. They shall spread out the scarlet cloth and cover the same with a covering of badger skins, and they shall insert its poles. Again, the poles we remember was in Exodus. I think we also read some about it being made in Leviticus. And they shall take a blue cloth and cover the lampstand of the light with the lamps and the wicks trimmers, its trays and the oil vessels with which they serve it. Then they shall put it with all the utensils and cover the badger skins and put it on a carrying beam. Over the golden altar they shall spread a blue cloth and cover it with the cover of badger skins, and they shall insert its poles. Then they shall take all the utensils serving of service, which I can't say it when they have with and which together. It always messes me up. With which they minister in the sanctuary. Put them on a blue cloth, cover them with the cover of badger skins, and put them on the carrying beam. Also they shall take away the ashes from the altar and spread the purple cloth over it. They shall put on it all its implements with which they minister there. The fire pans, the forks, the shovels, the basin, and all utensils of the altar. And what they're talking about with the fire pans and the forks and shovels, I'm not sure if you guys have ever been in a place that had an actual fireplace. When we have an old fireplace, it's no longer fireplaceable because there's no anymore. I have a fireplace at my parents' old house today. Yeah. You guys remember that Mom and Dad's old house? The fireplace, and had a shovel there and had stuff to, yeah. Well, that's what they did. It's almost similar in the thoughts I have. It's almost similar. A fire pan would be like a big pan about this big. The shovel would be probably about this much bigger to out the ashes and stuff. And they shall spread on it a covering of badger skins, and it insert its poles. And when Aaron and his sons have finished covering the sanctuary and all its furnishing of the sanctuary, when the camp is set to go, the sons of Kohath shall come in and carry them, but they shall not touch any holy thing, lest they die. These are the things at the tabernacle meeting which the sons of Kohath are to carry. The appointed duty, Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest of the oil, is the oil of the light, the sweet incense of daily grain offering, and the anointing oil, the oversight of all the system. Then the Lord spoke to Moses. Touch anyhow. These are the components to carry. Pointed to Eleazar, the son of Aaron, priest of oil, etc., the sanctuary of its furnishing. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, "Do not cut off the tribe of the families of Kohath, the Kohathites, from among the Levites, but do this in regard to them, that they may live and not die. When they approach the most holy things, Aaron and his sons shall go in and appoint each of them to his service and his task. But they shall not go in watch while the holy things are being covered, lest they die." And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Also take a census of the children of the sons of Gershon by their families, whole house, by their by their families from 30 years old and above, even up to 50 years old, you shall number them, and who enter to perform the service, to do the work of the tabernacle meeting. This is the service of family Gershonites, and serving and carrying. They shall carry the curtains of the tabernacle and the tabernacle meeting with its coverings, the covering of the badger skins that is on it, the screen of the door of the tabernacle, meaning the screen of the door, the gate of the court, and the hangings of the court, which are around the tabernacle and altar, and its cords, and their cords, and the furnishings of their service, and all that is made of these things that you so shall they serve. Aaron and his sons shall assign all the service to the sons of Gershonites, all their task and all their service, and you shall appoint to them all their task and their duties, service of the families of the sons of Gershon, and the tabernacle meeting, and the duties shall be under authority of Ithamar, the son of Aaron, the priest. As for the sons of Merari, you shall number them by the families of their house from 30 years and above to 50, up to 50. You shall number everyone who enters to do the work of the tabernacle meeting. And this is what they carry as their number from the tabernacle meeting: the boards in the tabernacle, its bars and its pillars and sockets, and the pillars around the court and their sockets, pegs, and cords with all their and their services. And you shall assign to each man the name by name the items he must carry. This is the service of the families of the sons of Merari, as all their service tabernacle meeting under the authority of Ithamar, the son of Aaron, the priest. Why am I reading so fast? Because it is, and I was saying this in my time with God earlier today, and I said, if it's repetitive, can we go fast, Lord? And I think he said, yeah. And I could have done that with, what was it, yesterday's numbers. We just kept on saying the exact same thing, except it had different numbers for each part of the tribes, for each tribe. And I think it's okay to go like that sometimes, because there are some things that are repetitive, or some things that are like begot, especially when you get to Matthew, and when you get to, is it Luke or is it John? I think it's Matthew and Luke, and they read all the begot this, begot that. Of Matthew goes all the way to David. Yeah, I think it's Luke that goes all the way to I think it's in Luke 3 that goes all the way to Adam, from Jesus all the way to Adam, or it starts with Adam, goes all the way to Jesus. And it's just interesting because someone took time to realize that when they wrote those scriptures, or God helped them understand it and know it. It gave it to Matthew or gave it to Luke. It's just interesting. So to me, it's interesting because you get to learn, you get to see where Jesus came from, because they said it comes from David, and it's just interesting. And people think he comes just from Joseph, I guess you could say his stepfather, but he actually comes through his Mary, who was part of the tribe of through David, not the tribe of David, but through that same tribe that David was in, and was part of the house of David as well. But let's continue. And Moses and Aaron and leaders of the congregation numbered the sons of Kohathites by their families in their father's house. For 20 years and above, from 50 up to 50, everyone who entered service of work, tabernacle, and those who were numbered of the families were 2,750. These were the number in the families of the Kohathites, all who might in tabernacle meeting, who Moses and Aaron numbered according to the command of the Lord and Moses. And this is where it gets repetitive, and I'm going to just say it like this. And the Gershon, and of course 30 years to 50, and were 200 or 2,630 by their fathers and families. and they are the ones commanded to do what they were commanded to do by the Lord. And then Miriam, or Marii, and their families, 30 to 50, who were numbered to work, were 3,200. So here we got a whole bunch getting, and then all the number of Levites who Moses and Aaron, leaders numbered of the families by their house, 30 to 50, who came to do work, who came work and worked the bearing burdens, and those who were numbered were 8,080. So over 8,000 people working, over 8,500 people working in one tabernacle to get it all down at one time. And this is like a really, back then, when you built something, you had to build it to stand for a long time. God gave them the actual dimensions of how to do everything. And I think about the pegs that they said that they use. They use these certain type of pegs. I don't know all the aspects of it. But I read this a few years ago, and I was thinking about episodes of Cheers. I utilize things that I know. And there was an episode where they're trying to say how many pegs were in the floor of the of the Celtics basketball court. And because of that, Kevin McHale couldn't play because about how many pegs were on the floor. And it was a stupid episode. It was really funny. I say stupid and funny, but it was. But I think about that. Because they had these pegs inside this floor. You could actually take the pegs up, take the floor off, because the Boston Garden was also used for the Boston Bruins for ice hockey. So they had to take the whole floor up and ice on there, or however they do that. I don't know. So it's just a quick thing. Easily put in, easily taken out. And it's something that they were using back in 1980s, probably still using today, that was actually created by God to do the tabernacle 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years ago. It's an old. I mean, of course, today they have machines go boop, 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 like that. They had to use hammers to do it, and use hammers and stuff to pull them out, or however they pulled them out. But it's the same, technology. And it's just amazing that we're using the same thing today to be able to take boards up and down quickly, like they do at Boston Garden or in other arenas. I think about the about the Pensacon. You know, they're having a monster truck thing going on there. It's amazing that they can actually put that place and put mud and dirt in there for those monster trucks, clean it out quickly, and then put a floor like for basketball. And they use that same kind of technology, those pegs. And that's just something that's amazing to me, that something that's over 5,000 years old is still being utilized for sports arenas and other things today, to take up and put things down quickly. Just think about that. It's kind of amazing. Well, that's what we're going to end with that, because there are a lot of amazing things that you can read in this word. There's a lot of things that you can read in this word today. Hey, Flash is behind me. A lot of things you can read in this word. I didn't know that was going on behind me. And there's just so much to learn from the gospel, from the word of God, from Genesis all the way to Revelation. That's why Paul tells Timothy in 2 Timothy 3:16 through 17, as he's telling us also, that the whole word of God is for us today. It's written by inspiration through God, so that we can have doctrine, so we can have reproof, correction, instruction, and righteousness, in order for us to become fully equipped to do his good works. That's why it's important. And then you learn stuff and other things that have nothing to do with the Bible, about sports sometimes, or about technology that was utilized 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years ago. Y'all have a blessed night, and we'll see you again soon.